Well, Scott Shaw, we're here again at the lumber yard here. Actually, we're at a pallet company, and you're telling us about some of the raw material that we see that go into actually making pallets. Can you tell us a little something about this and the process that's made?
Sure. What we do is we bring in kiln-dried southern yellow pine, and we convert this, I'll call it a raw material, into runners and boards for our pallet manufacturing. This happens to be a bundle of 12-foot 2x4s, and again, these are kiln-dried southern yellow pine, which is what our yard here specializes in. And this is a very common wood in the southeast. Out west, not so much. They use Douglas fir and spruce out there. But it's considered a softwood, and this is all heat treated so that if we need to build a pallet that a customer wants to export a product on, they'll be able to use one of these pallets. And this is a little bit different than our hardwood operation in Georgia, where they actually bring in logs and saw the logs down into pieces like these. So there's a little bit of an extra process with our hardwood operation. But what we'll do is we'll take what's called a resaw, and we'll resaw these when we want to make some boards. And you can either get 2 boards from this piece, or you can get 3 boards. The difference will be the thickness. And you're talking either 11/16 if you want to get 2 boards out of this, or 7/16 thickness if you want to get 3 boards. And that's pretty much it. We cut it to length, and then we assemble it here, and it goes to our customer.
And the differential in the length after you saw it is just sawdust, is that right?
Correct.
So that's kind of like, do you do anything with that sawdust, or is it just kind of...
Yeah, we recycle it, yeah.
Oh, neat. Neat. That's a lot. That's a lot of wood. You see it flying off the lumber when you're cutting it, but you don't realize the extent that you actually have to be that meticulous when you're measuring.
Right. And all of our cooperative members recycle virtually everything. Nothing goes to the landfill, with the exception maybe of strapping, and even this gets recycled at a plastics manufacturer, or a metal, this happens to be metal strapping, a metal recycler.
I see. And when you talk about kiln, the kiln-fired wood, so it sounds like a big oven, something that's hot, and that's what you really need in order to make this. Why is it important to have something so hot to make these?
Right. Well, the purpose of heat treatment is to kill any pests that are living in the wood. We've had a problem in this country with some pests coming over from Asia, and they're non-native, so they tend to expand, and it's a real problem. And likewise, the United States has some indigenous species of insects that we certainly wouldn't want to get into Europe or Asia. So the heat treatment, and there's a precisely defined formula for heat treatment, where the core temperature of the wood has to be at a certain temperature for 4 hours. It's 56 degrees Celsius. And that way it assures that when we export a pallet, it's free of pests. And you're right, a kiln is essentially a large oven for wood.
Well, very interesting. Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure.